Hey there, I'm Sarita. You're about to experience the modern approach to well-being where you get to establish the best and most important relationship you will ever have, the one with yourself. I'm on a mission to help 100,000 women just like you declutter energy and reclaim your power in order to manifest your best life. If you're looking for the optimal blend of mindset and healing, you are in the right place. My goal in this podcast is to share tools, resources, and practices that will help you along your healing journey. I'm so excited to be here with you today. So welcome to Back to Center with Sarita. Let's get started. Hello. I'm so ecstatic that you are here for my first official episode of Back to Center with Sarita. If you do not know me already, my name is Sarita Buer, and this is my podcast that I have created especially for you. So I'm so excited to be sharing it. If you are new here, I suggest if you want to get to know a little bit more about the podcast that you go back and listen to the first 2 bonus episodes that dropped back last year in 2022, where you will actually find out details about what to expect on the podcast going forward. Okay, enough about that. I want to share with you some more information about your lovely host, myself. So instead of answering the question of, tell me more about yourself, I always find it difficult when people ask me that question, like, tell me more about yourself, or what do you do? I find it really challenging to respond to that because there's so much that I can share. Do you ever feel like that? Like when someone asks you the question, those 2 questions, it's kind of hard to put yourself into a box and it almost feels constricting. So instead of telling you my life story, which you will actually hear so much more about in the life of this podcast, I wanted to share with you the identities that I am currently have embraced for a long time and I'm currently shedding. So if you listen to the first 2 bonus episodes, I actually already shared these 2 particular identities with you that I am in the process of shedding. And those 2 identities are the people pleaser and the controller. And I personally like to call it the controller on overdrive. So let's unpack the people pleaser a little bit because this is something I know that so many of us struggle with. I feel a lot of us are people pleasers all the time with things we don't even realize. And we learn at a very young age that in order to receive love and attention, we do things or we act a certain way in order to receive just that. So for me, my people pleasing came from being a little child who was adopted at the tender age of 3. So you can just imagine the type of abandonment and pain there was to find myself in a new home with a new mother and figuring out in order to receive love, there were certain things that I had to do in order to receive that. And I learned that. And believe it or not, those things stayed with me. And fast forward 30 some years, oh my God, I'm the woman who has continued to operate in this fashion. And so I'm in the process of slowly unlearning all of that. I'm not sure if you're listening to this and if you're adopted, but being adopted, especially myself being an international adoptee and what is considered a transracial adoptee, which AKA is somebody who grows up with a parent or a caretaker of another race or ethnic identity. And what occurs, it leaves one with a lot of layers, kind of like an onion. So this whole journey that I have been going through over the course of the last few years has been unpacking all those layers of being adopted, an international adoptee, having a mother of a different ethnic origin, and all the things that come with that, like the people pleasing and the controlling. And so, like I said, like an onion, there are a lot of layers that I've gone through. And whether or not you're adopted or not, like the fact that these identities I've carried with me for such a long time and identified with and have been allowing myself to identify and unmold from, because it's a story, it's a pattern that's been going on for a long time. So I really created this podcast in order to share my healing, my unpacking, my delayering journey with you, to show you that healing is in fact very, very possible, and it does not need to look just one way. My healing journey is my way, and you may totally relate to it, and you may not relate to it. And however, I want to emphasize that the healing journey looks your way and only your way. And that's what makes it so special. Healing does not need to look, healing's not linear. Healing doesn't need to look exactly the same way for each person. It can be your unique journey, which makes that journey so darn special just for you. What I like about this podcast is that coming back to center is the path of healing. And you will see that through the life of my podcast, broadcasted through me and through my guests. So just talking about it actually gets me really lit up and excited, because I love anything around healing, self-love, self-care, spirituality, manifestation, like just to name a few. I mean, the list really goes on. So I'm actually on a mission to impact as many women as possible. I really am. I see how healing the relationship with yourself is paramount to living the life you desire. I'm going to say that again. I see how healing the relationship with yourself is paramount to living the life you desire. And it's pretty cool what can happen when you choose you. And this is what occurred to me over the last 3+ years. I would say, if not the last 10+ years, I have been through quite a lot, from a little bit that I shared with you, being adopted, growing up with a narcissistic parent, going to college, traveling, studying abroad, leaving my home city of St. Louis, moving to California, San Diego, and not knowing but one person, two people I should say, getting into toxic relationships at a young age, going to graduate school, entering the corporate life, living life with anxiety and depression, leaving my corporate job, pursuing my business, starting my healing journey, and then most recently breaking up my 8-year relationship, just to name a few things. It has been a wild, wild ride. But honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love where I am right now, and it's been a place that I have desired and actually manifested. And it dawned on me when I was flying on my trip to the East Coast just a couple weeks ago, that last month I was going to the East Coast, that the place where I am now, the place where I am now living by the beach, I actually manifested that. I created that. And it was something that I really, really desired. The life that I'm living, focusing on my healing, my self-love, is a place that I yearned for a long time. And now I have received it. So it's really magical how these things really unfold when you trust the process. So it reminds me to ask yourself to take a moment to reflect on where you are in your life right now, this chapter. If you're married, if you're single, if you're in a relationship, if you're living in a city that you absolutely love, the house, live beautiful property, like toys, you travel, you spend time with your family. Those moments, the moment that you're in right now, you manifested it. Something that you desired before, and you created it into your reality now. And even honestly, and even if you're in a place where you're not fully happy and being fulfilled, it's your opportunity to reflect on the blessings that you do have in your life. And it is simple as the air in your lungs. January is a time for new beginnings, right? I mean, it is, this podcast episode is dropping January 2nd. So many, many people are out there getting their goals and their lists together for New Year's resolutions. And I absolutely love doing that. In fact, I'm going through a 5-step process myself in order to get a lot of clarity on what it is that I desire to manifest this year in 2023. And also, I want to remind you, we are in the state of winter. I mean, we are within the winter solstice right now. And so it's a wonderful opportunity for nurturing and self-reflection. Whether you're on this journey, I invite you to love and appreciate exactly where you are, because you are meant to be exactly where you are right now. Okay, loves, that concludes today's introductory episode to get to know Sarita, and kind of a little mini motivational episode for you for this beginning of January 2023 in this episode of Back to Center with Sarita. I cannot wait to walk alongside you in this journey. And I will see you in the next episode. In the meantime, keep being the amazing you that you are. Hey love, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you adored what you heard, it would mean the world to me if you took a moment to leave a review on the platform you are listening to this episode on. By doing this, you are helping my mission to impact other women with their healing journeys. If you aren't already following me on social media, make sure to connect with me at Sarita Wellness to get your weekly dose of inspiration. I can't wait to be with you in the next episode, but in the meantime, keep being the amazing you that you are.